Hi, my name is Rachel and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to continue on our watercolor journey with a demonstration on how to stretch watercolor paper. So, let's get started. The reason why we stretch watercolor paper before getting started is because as the paper gets wet, the fibers in the paper will begin to expand, and this is where we get buckling, which can be really challenging to work with. So by stretching our paper ahead of time, this will create a flat surface that will remain flat while we work. For this, you'll need a water-resistant board. I'm using gator board, but you can also use plexiglass or hard plywood. Then you're going to want a sheet of watercolor paper. I'm using 140-pound cold press paper. You're going to want a pair of scissors, a sponge, some paper towels, a container of water, and the most important material needed, a roll of gummed paper tape. Next, you're going to take your bucket, bin, container, you can also do this in a tub, of cold water, and you're going to take your paper and you're going to go back and forth saturating it. Now, some people will leave this sitting in a tub of water. Don't leave it in for more than 10 minutes or so. For me, I often will use the bin method. It just depends on how large of a sheet of paper I'm also using. So I'm going to go ahead and start saturating my paper. Now that it is fully saturated, I'm going to let some of the water drip off, and I am going to line it up where I want it on my board. I'm going to go ahead and use my hands and gently flatten out my sheet of paper. Now, working fairly quickly, I'm going to take one of my paper towels and I am going to clean the edges where I'm going to put my gummed tape. I have found that if I don't do this step, the gummed tape doesn't actually stick very well to my paper because that area just takes so much longer to dry than anywhere else. So just going around and drying where I know the gummed tape is going to be. Next, taking a sheet of my gummed tape, what I'm going to do is I am going to saturate my sponge with some water so that it's nice and damp, but not too wet. And I'm going to take my piece of paper tape and I'm going to saturate it with water. Now you want to be careful that you don't actually take the glue up when you do this. And then I'm going to line it up halfway down and tape it down, making sure to press it into the paper. And I'm going to continue like this all the way around. So as you notice, there is some buckling going on right in the center of our page, and I'm going to tell you, don't worry about it. What is going to happen is as this paper is going to dry naturally, it's actually going to begin to stretch itself out, and this buckling in the center of the page will go away on its own. Don't try to press it flat with your hands. I promise you this will work. This is the trust the process kind of a moment. And speaking of drying, we are now going to wait anywhere between 10 and 24 hours for this to dry fully. So I will see you when we come back in 24 hours. And voila! 24 hours has passed and our paper is now 100% dry. You might also notice that the buckling that we had in the center of the page has entirely resolved itself and has stretched itself flat, which means our paper is now ready to work on. Shortly, I will be creating a watercolor painting on this page that we stretched, so stay tuned for that video. I hope so much that you'll be able to try this in your own watercolor practice, and if you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Or if you'd like to see more art education videos or stuff from my own practice, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely day. Happy painting, and I look forward to seeing you next time.